Hello friends, welcome to Technobytes. So in this video we are going to learn about coroutine context. So coroutines have different contexts like IO, main. So and in this video we'll learn all about all of them, how to use them, how to when to use which, and how to context switch from one context to another using coroutine, because that is one of the benefit that coroutine provides, and for that it is very much popular. So let's start. With the previous video, we have already seen that we can start a coroutine with a global scope dot launch. So this syntax we have already seen, but we can specifically define the context here in the bracket itself. In the context, we can write dispatchers dot. We have four types of this context: main, IO, default, and unconfined. So if you click on main, so this is the same as writing the some operation on main thread, because this dispatchers dot main specifies the main context being run by a coroutine. So we can handle any UI element in the dispatchers dot main context. Like any UI operation can only be done in the main context. So that's why if you have to do some UI processing, like showing a text, setting a text view, getting value from text, so all these things we have to do in the dispatcher main context. Now another context is .io. So this IO context is used when we have to perform some IO operations, like reading some data, heavy data from file, or getting some data from the network. Basically, while making some network call, we always do dispatchers.io, because that is the IO operation, and that is for that this dispatcher is optimized for. So we do all these heavy operations related to the IO in this type of dispatcher. And now see third one. So the third one is a default context. So in this default context, we can perform any type of heavy operation which is not related to IO, but any type of heavy operation we can perform in this default, like calculating something like a Fibonacci series and such a long recursive operation. So we can perform that inside this default IO. And the fourth one is unconfined. So this unconfined, as the name suggests, it is not confined to any thread. That is it is not bind to any thread. Let's say some coroutine is running, and the coroutine has been stopped, paused for a while, and then after the requirement, it is again resumed. So it will run in any thread, regardless of which thread it is. So that is the meaning of unconfined. So these are the four contexts in coroutines. When most used are IO and main. These contexts are mostly used. So in the IO, we generally call a heavy operation, like updating any file, or reading data from a file, or making some network call and getting the data from the network. So all these do in the IO thread, IO dispatchers. Okay, so one thing I have already mentioned about Kotlin, that Kotlin are able to easily context switch. So one context can be switched to another. Like so, if you are already in the IO context, there is a technique to change the context into main context. Because if we have to, let's say we have some API that is retaining us a list of some products, or uh, yeah, something like that. So and we have to make a network call for that. So we need a dispatchers.io for that purpose, and we'll get the data. But after we get the data, we have to show that in the list. We have to make some operation on main thread. We have to make some text entries on the you on the phone screen. For that, IO is not usable, because through the IO we can't make any UI modification. Let's see that. We are in the dispatcher.io, and we'll just create a new text toast, this main activity, and we'll just put a toast says hello. Okay, and now let's try running this application. It is running, and the application has crashed. Now let's see in the logcat what it says. So this is saying the same thing, that null pointer exception cannot toast on a on a thread that has not called to put or prepare. So that is the same thing. It is pointing to the toast, and because we are using the dispatcher.io, we are not allowed to make any operation related to UI thread. So for that, we need to context switch from IO dispatcher to the main dispatcher, and this thing we can do by, let's say we have here network call which takes about 500 milliseconds, 5 seconds, and after that we are get the data. We have to make the of some operation on the main thread. For that we can use this keyword with context, and we can pass here dispatchers dot main, and inside this block we can now interact with the UI and make some UI modifications, because inside this whatever the code will run, it will be run on a main thread. So now let's again try if we are able to do this, and the application is successful, and yes, we have also got the toast message also. So this is context switching. This can be easily done in Kotlin, like with the help of with context function. So that's about dispatchers and context switching in the coroutines. I hope this video has helped you to understand about how the context works in coroutine, and how we can context switch in coroutines. So if you have liked this video, then please like and let me know in the comments. If you didn't like something in this video, so please let me know that in the comments itself so that I can improve on my content. Thank you so much.